Yahaira, some people play chess, but I played chess. Not like your abuelita at the park plays chess. No offense to anybody's grandfather. It's just my ranking be more official than your abuelito's. Last year, my FIDE ranking was higher than the year I was born, well over the 2000s. I scrubbed kids weekly at citywide competitions and was on a travel team for national tournaments until last year. I'm not the best student at AC Portalin High School, but I was one of the best chess players in the entire city, and I ensured our team won titles. And the school loved me for it. So did the neighborhood. I got us into the newspapers and on late night TV for something other than drugs or poor test scores or gentrification. But last year, things changed. And so did I. So did chess. And if the game taught me one thing, it's once you lift a pawn off the board, you have to move it forward. It cannot return where it was. Papi was a good chess teacher. He was not a good chess player, evidenced by how terribly he hid things. You could always tell his next play. At least, that's what I used to think. When Papi is in DR, we do not speak often, but I never had to reach him the way I did one day last summer. It felt like he might be the only person to help me make sense of the thing that happened. The thing I still find hard to talk about. I called his cell. He didn't answer. I sent him a text and no response. I tried his email, but one day later, my inbox was still empty. I realized Papi always travels for negocios, but I didn't have a single work number. I called Tio Jorge to ask, but he said he didn't have a phone to call. Mommy rubbed my back, but said Papi would get to me when he could. On a day Mommy wasn't home, I went through a folder of Papi's papers. I thought one of his business forms might have a company number. My fingers, drawn like magnets, landed on a closed envelope. I know Mommy had never looked at it herself. I know this for a fact, because if she had, she would know what I now know, what she cannot know, or nothing would have been like it was. It depends on whether Mommy or Papi is telling it, their story. According to Papi, he saw Mommy at El Malecón in Puerto Plata, sitting near the water's edge, rocking high-waist jeans, guapa, y alta como un modelo, straight hair and the nose of a Roman empress. According to Mommy, she saw Papi creeping closer, dark like the skin of a vanilla bean, a barrel chest, and the hands of a mechanic. Fuerte como un luchador, pelo afro y esos dientes derechitos. According to Papi, Mommy looked fina, like a porcelain chess piece to be captured. According to Mommy, something about him called to her. Maybe his laugh, scattering birds as it rang out, the way the crowd parted as he walked toward her, the way she stood and watched, unfazed and half smiling, forcing him to puff up his chest, to smooth his hair, to introduce himself to the woman he said he'd one day wife. You would think coffee and condensed milk would give you some kind of light brown, but I came out Papi's mirror, his bella negra, thick hair like his, thick lips like his, thick skin like his. When some of my cousins from Mommy's side dissed me la prieta fea, I never listened. Papi's reminder in my ear, you are dark and always been beautiful, like the night, like a star after it burst, like obsidian and onyx and jet, precious. But I know I am beautiful, like all and none of those things. Far in the sky and deep in the earth, I am beautiful like a dark-skinned girl that is right here. I've always preferred playing black on the chessboard, always advancing, conquering my offending other side. But although I got Papi's skin color and his facial features, my body is all mommy's. Her curves are a roadmap for my own dips. You cannot say I am not both their child. The first time Dre touched me without our clothes on, she kept running her hand from waist to hip, and I wanted to write mommy a thank you text for giving my body a spot that was made to nest Dre's hand. Sometimes I look down at my fingers and they are long and thin. It's mommy's imprint covered in my father's dark. But my laugh is an interrupter, all Papi. The cock of my head, all him. When it comes to personality, I am neither one of them. When they hold boisterous family parties, I'd rather be reading in my room. Where Papi is always thinking of how to save another dollar, I'm dreaming up a Sephora wish list to request for my next birthday. Mommy stands in front of a stove for hours, and I would burn an untoasted sandwich. I am theirs. You can see them on me, but I am also all mine. Mostly.